107 FM nílùú Ìbàdàn aago 12 ọ̀sán ti lù.
It's midday from Melody 100.7 FM, Ibadan, Oyo State, Nigeria.
He's onside this time. He's got Crespo in support. Here's Hernan Crespo, 2-0.
From the thunderous roar of the stadium to the silent moments that made history, from the dusty fields of Africa to the bright lights of the world stage, this is Sports Echo.
It's volleyed and it's in. A goal in 50 seconds from Milan. Oh, would you believe it? Paolo Maldini, the skipper, has scored it. Into Shevchenko, he's onside this time, he's got Crespo in support, here's Hernan Crespo, 2-0. Hernan Crespo! Look at that from Kaká, and what a pass too for Crespo, and what a goal that is, what a goal that is. Hernan Crespo again, sublime pass by Kaká. Was Gerrard! Hello, here we go. Steven Gerrard puts a grain of doubt in the back of Milan minds and gives hope to all the many thousands of Liverpool fans.
Good afternoon, sport lovers. This is Sport Echoes on Melody 100.7 FM. Alright, on this show, we dive deep into stories behind the scores, the legends, the heartbreaks, and the unforgettable moments that shaped sports as we know it today. Alright, from Nigeria's golden goals to Olympic shocks to African giants that shook the world stage, this show is your backstage pass to the past. We're going to be bringing you facts, voices, memories, and maybe even the futures as we relive the moments that made fan screams, nations proud, and history take note. And don't forget, there's also the quiz segment where I ask questions, and if you get them, you're going to win something really, really nice right there. Just stay locked in. Yes, 30 minutes for the story, and the other 30 minutes, you're going to win something amazing. That's if you get my prize right there. Alright, I welcome you on behalf of the general manager of this station, Eniola Afolabi, the sports marshal, and also, yes, the producer of this show. Yes, that's Pretty the Finest, Adegoke. Yes, he's the producer of the show. And also, Daniel Adeyemi is right beside me. He's the studio manager for today. And Amos 33 is right there at the engineering, doing justice to everything that has to do with engineering right there. Alright, I'm Akinbobola, Egunfemi. Welcome on board. Alright, last week we talked about the FIFA World Cup, how it started, and how everything turned out to be like this. The 2022, where we saw Messi, Argentina win it. I started from how everything began. But guess what? Today, we're going to be talking about something entirely different, and it's something about Africa. Now, we're going to be talking about how the AFCON started. We're going to be taking you back to the time when Africa was on the rise, nations breaking free from colonial rule, and a continent eager to showcase its pride on the football pitch. This is the story of how the African Cup of Nations was born. Alright, it was a dream in the 1950s to Africa's biggest football spectacle today. So today we're going to be talking about the AFCON. Exciting, yeah? You're going to, get a lot of things. You're going to know how many of these countries started it. The likes of Sudan. You know what? Let me just go straight into it and play that sound of the AFCON. Guess what? When you hear that sound, you know it's time for the AFCON. I know many of you remember the sound. Even 2023, when Cote d'Ivoire won it, yes, that was the sound. It has always been like that. That's the AFCON for you. All right, starting from setting the scene. Yes, it all started in the 1940s and in the 1950s. All right, before the AFCON started, African football story was one of a passionate without a continental stage. Football had already captured hearts across North, East, West, and South African, but it was introduced largely through colonial influence. In the North Africa, especially Egypt, Sudan, and Algeria, the game had been around since the early 20th century. Clubs like Al Ahly, funnily, it was founded 1907, and Zamalek were already drawing huge crowds. In the West Africa, the sport grew in British and French colonies. Ghana, then the Gold Coast, had vibrant community teams, and Nigeria's cities had competitive local leagues. In the East Africa, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania saw football spread through schools and army barracks, and in the South Africa had established a football scene, but it was deeply divided along racial lines because of apartheid. Guess what? We're going to be talking about the apartheid situation with South Africa, how they were banned. But you know what? Just wait and enjoy the moment. All right, by the early 1950s, Africa had no equivalent to Europe's Nations Cup or South American's Copa America. International matches for African teams were rare and mostly against European or Middle Eastern sides. Some regional tournaments existed, for example, the Gozage Cup in the East Africa. Yes, it was between Kenya, Uganda, Zanzibar. Yes, remember Nigeria chanting played Zanzibar. So the Gozage Cup in the East Africa was all about Kenya, Uganda, and Zanzibar. And in the North African Club Cups, it involved Egypt, Libya, Tunisia, Algeria, and Morocco. But there was no unified platform for the whole continent to compete. All right, in the 1950s, there was a turning point. African nations were breaking free from colonial rule. Libya gained independence in 1951. Sudan in 1956, Ghana in 1957, Nigeria, we all know, 1960. Leaders and intellectuals were pushing Pan-Africanism, the idea that Africa should stand together politically, economically, and culturally. Football was seen as a tool for unity and pride, a way to show that the world's Africans' talents. The global football body, FIFA, was Eurocentric. Very few African nations were members in the early 50s, and African representation in the FIFA decision-making was minimal. In the FIFA World Cup, Africa had no guaranteed spot. The continent had to fight for recognition. This exclusion gave African football leaders the motivation to create their own governing body. And guess what? By the mid-1950s, the stage was set. Africa had passionate fans, talented players, and a burning desire for continental competition. Political change and football ambition were feeding each other. Leaders from Egypt, Sudan, Ethiopia, and South Africa were ready to turn this desire into action, and in 1957, one more time, 1957, that dream became the African Cup of Nations. By the mid-1950s, African football leaders knew something had to change. They wanted a continental governing body, a tournament to bring African nations together, a strong voice in FIFA to fight for fair representation. The spark came in 1956 at the FIFA Congress in Lisbon, Portugal. Representatives from Egypt, Sudan, Ethiopia, and South Africa met on the sidelines and began planning Africa's own football federation. and the historical meeting was held at Khartoum, 1957. It was at Sudan, Khartoum in Sudan, right there. The city of Khartoum, Sudan, was chosen for the official founding meeting. The date was February 8, 1957, to be precise. These four nations, like I mentioned earlier, they founded the Confederation of African Football. Yeah, they were the founding members of the CAF. Yes, CAF, that we'll call it today, Confederation of African Football. Yes, Egypt was represented by Abdulaziz Abdallah Salem. Yeah, he was soon to be the CAF first president. So the CAF first president was from Egypt, and Sudan was represented by Abdel Amil, yes, Mohammed, and Ethiopia represented by Tessama. He was later a long-serving CAF president, and South Africa was represented by Fred Fall. So Egypt was represented by Abdulaziz Abdallah, Sudan, Abdelamil Mohammed, and Ethiopia, Tessema, later a long-serving CAF president, and South Africa represented by Fred Fell. But yeah, afterwards, there was an early controversy. It was called the apartheid shadow. So almost immediately after formation, CAF faced its first political test. South Africa insisted on sending all-white team to the first AFCON, refusing to select black players. So South Africa insisted on selecting all-white teams, and the then CAF, they didn't find it nice. They felt like at least a black player should have been there. So CAF stood firm. Apartheid was incompatible with African unity. Hence, what happened afterwards? South Africa was expelled from the inaugural tournament and later suspended from CAF completely. Just to be precise, it was February 1957, just like I said earlier. The same year, CAF was founded, and the brand new confederation wasted no time. Sudan, just like I said earlier, was one of the founding members, stepped forward to host the very first AFCON nations. AFCON, first African Cup of Nations, right there, just to be precise. The idea was simple: bring together the founding nations for a celebration of African football, but there was already a twist in the tail. Just like I said earlier, the South African problem. South Africa had been one of the CAF founding members, but apartheid policy meant that they planned to send them all-white team, and CAF leaders were not having it. In a move that sent a clear political message, South Africa was banned from the tournament. This left only 3 teams in the competition: Egypt, Sudan, and Ethiopia. So it was founded. Now let's talk about the format at which the AFCON, the first AFCON, was held. 1 semi-final and 1 automatic finalist. So it was Egypt versus Sudan, and 1 automatic finalist, Ethiopia, who advanced without playing a match due to South Africa's disqualification. A final to decide the champion. So it was Egypt and Sudan that played in the semi-final. Ethiopia, who were supposed to play South Africa, South Africa was disqualified, so it was Ethiopia that advanced. Easy free for them to the final. And the final, yes, Egypt and Sudan, they faced off. And yes, guess what? We're going to talk about who eventually won the game. All right, in the game, Egypt versus Sudan, which was played in Khartoum, Sudan. Yes, Egypt won 2-1, showing sharp attacking play led by star striker Diab El Attar, nicknamed Adiba. And in the final, Egypt versus Ethiopia, Egypt dominated from start to finish. Adiba scored all 4 goals in a 4-0 victory. And guess what? Egypt lifted the first AFCON trophy, the Abdulaziz Abdallah Salim Trophy. named after the first CAF president. All right, let's move away from the first edition. AFCON returns 1959. All right, in 2 years after the historic first edition, AFCON was back. This time it was Cairo, Egypt. The format, still small, still intimate. Only 3 teams again: Egypt, Sudan, and Ethiopia. Egypt, playing at home, proved unstoppable, winning a second straight title. Maybe that's why Egypt are still dominant with the likes of Mohamed Salah right now. They're still doing justice to the AFCON. You see Egypt dominate. So they started from time. But yeah, change was coming fast. A new wave of nations, the late 1950s and early 1960s, were a period of political transformation. Ghana became independent in 1957, and guess what? Nigeria in 1960, Cameroon, Senegal, Mali, and others soon followed. Each independence brought not just a new flag, but a new national football team manager eager to compete. So afterwards, CAF grew in the 1962 tournament. By the 1962 AFCON in Ethiopia, the field was expanding. For the first time, qualifiers were introduced. 6 teams took part: Egypt, Sudan, Ethiopia, Ghana, Tunisia, and Nigeria. So Nigeria joined 1952. The tournament still had a knockout format, but now it felt bigger and more competitive. Guess what? In that tournament, Ethiopia, the hosts, they stunned everyone by beating Egypt 4-2 in the finals, thanks to Woku's brilliance. Yeah, Woku was that guy that did justice to Ethiopia defeating Egypt. Remember, Egypt have always won the AFCON 2 times. They won it back-to-back, but Ethiopia came and defeated them 4-2 right there. And Ghana rise 1963 and 1965. In 1963, Ghana hosted and won the first AFCON, defeating Sudan in the final. They repeated the same feat in 1967 in Tunisia, showing the tactical discipline and flair that would make them a continental powerhouse. This era gave us the first real rivals in African football: Egypt versus Ghana, Sudan versus Ethiopia, and it created the first wave of football legend. And talking about the legends, it was Mengistu Woku from Ethiopia, Hassan Ejadi from Egypt, Ose Kofi of Ghana. Right now we can see that the AFCON, at this point in time, 1962, it was more than just football. The tournament weren't just sporting events, they were national celebration. In newly independent countries, winning AFCON was like winning global recognition. Leaders often attended matches themselves, knowing how much the victories meant to their people. Stadiums were filled with music, dance, and national colors, turning every match into a festival of identity. Yes, by the end of 1960s, AFCON had gone from 3 teams in 1957 to 8 teams by 1968. Qualifiers became a regular part of the process. More nations saw AFCON as the ultimate stage to prove themselves in African football. We're gradually getting there. The 1970s began with AFCON feeling truly continental, more teams, more talent, and more eyes watching. By 1970, 8 nations were regularly qualifying, and the competition was now held every 2 years like clockwork. All right, I would be taking you from each year's. In 1970, it was hosted by Sudan. In 1957, Sudan had lost the inaugural final to Egypt. In 1970, they finally got their revenge, beating Ghana 1-0 in the host. Just like I said, Edin Jagza Abbas, it was the hero of Sudanese football. This was Sudan's first and only AFCON trophy, a moment still celebrated in Khartoum today. 1972, it was hosted by Cameroon. The Republic of Congo, then it was known as Congo-Brazzaville, showed the continent, defeating Mali 3-2 in the final. This remains one of AFCON's most expected victories, showing that even a smaller nation could even rise to glory. So then it was Congo surprise. It was tagged. 1972 was tagged Congo surprise. 1974, it was a 0 Africa. It was hosted by Egypt. Congo then was called Zaire. They lifted the trophy, beating Zambia 2-0 in a replayed final. The first match ended 2-0. 2-all, I beg your pardon. It was 2-all the first match, so they had to play another game. So Zambia won at 2-0, and Zaire went on to qualify for the 1974 FIFA World Cup, becoming the first sub-Saharan African team to appear in the modern tournament. So the first time an African team appeared in a modern tournament, yes, it was Zaire, but now it's called DR Congo. So they were the first team because they won against Zambia in the 1974 AFCON final. They won 2-0. The first match was 2-2. Then they had to play a second leg. Then Zambia won eventually. By 1976, it was held Ethiopia, the only AFCON in history, decided by a final group stage instead of a knockout final. Guess who won it? It was Morocco, emerged champions after topping the group led by Ahmed Faras. The format never returned, but Morocco win cemented them as the North African powerhouse. 1978. One thing to notice, every 2 years, 1976, 1974, right now we are 1978, Ghana's stole title, Ghana, the Black Stars. It was hosted by Ghana themselves. Yeah, Ghana, the Black Stars, already champions in 1963 and 1965, claimed their third crown by beating Uganda 2-0. And in the final, yeah, this made Ghana the first country to win the AFCON 3 times. It was legendary coach Fred Osam Duodu masterminded the triumph for Ghana right there. So Ghana became the first country to win the AFCON 3 times. Great one from Ghana. 1980, Nigeria's green-white triumph. Guess what? The 1980 was hosted in Nigeria, the Green Eagles. But now we call it the Super Eagles. They won their first ever AFCON title. It was led by the late captain Christian Chukwu and the brilliant Segun Odegbami. They beat Algeria 3-0. In the Lagos final, the victory ignited Nigeria's long-last love affair with the tournament. 1980, Nigeria hosted and they won. Yes, my mom would always talk about Segun Odegbami and the late Christian Chukwu. He was the best player of that tournament. Sadly, we lost him. And yes, may the Lord give the family the fortitude to bear this irreplaceable loss. But always a legend, always a legend. It was Captain Christian Chukwu who led the team, and brilliant Segun Odegbami who did justice to Nigeria defeating Algeria 3-0. And it was at the famous, you already know, Lagos. 1982, Ghana makes history. Yeah, it was a Libya, Ghana powered by legendary Abedi Pele. Yes, then he was just 17, and Captain Emmanuel Kashi, they won their 4th title, beating Libya on penalties. This made Ghana the most successful AFCON nation at that time. The tournament also showed football's power to unite. Libya's passionate fans celebrated alongside Ghanaian supporters despite political tension. 1984, Cameroon rise. It was at Ivory Coast, the indomitable Lions, led by Roger Milla and Théophile Abega, claimed their first AFCON title, beating Nigeria 3-1 in the final. This marked the start of Cameroon's golden era. And by 1968, it was hosted by Egypt, and Egypt reclaimed the trophy for the first time since 1959, defeating Cameroon on penalties in front of a roaring Cairo crowd. The win revived Egypt's dominance in African football. 1988, it was hosted by Morocco. Cameroon still riding the wave of 1984 success. They won their 2nd title by defeating Nigeria again 1-0 in a tense final. Emmanuel Kounde's penalty sealed it, cementing Cameroon's reputation as AFCON giants. And by 1980s, yes, Cameroon performances in the AFCON and World Cup turned football into a global talking point. Super rivalries, Nigerian versus Cameroon, Ghana, Egypt. These clashes were intense and often politically charged. And we also saw more African stars were now playing in Euro, bringing new style and tactics back home. And there was also what they call the fan culture. The 1980s cemented AFCON as a cultural event, stadium dances, drumming, colorful outfits, and songs that became national anthems. 1990, Algeria, and after years of near misses, the Desert Foxes finally lifted the AFCON trophy, beating Nigeria. Nigeria always in the final. So this time, Algeria defeated Nigeria 1-0 in the finals. This victory sparked nationwide celebration and cemented Algeria's place among Africa's elites. And in 1992, it was hosted by Senegal, and it was the Côte d'Ivoire who won it. Yes, the Elephants won their first title in a dramatic fashion, 0-0 draw with Ghana in the final, led by the longest penalty shootout in AFCON, 11-10, longest penalty shootout in the AFCON history. Goalkeeper Alain Goumane was the hero, saving the decisive kick. And by 1994, it was Nigeria's peak, hosted in Tunisia, led by mercurial late Rashidi Yekini. Nigeria's Super Eagles dominated, beating Zambia 2-1 in the final. This title came just months before Nigeria made their historical debut at the 1994 FIFA World Cup in USA. 1996, it was South Africa, and it was newly reinstated to CAF. They were newly reinstated to CAF after the end of apartheid. South Africa not only hosted, but also won their first ever AFCON, beating Tunisia 2-0 in the final. Yes, Captain Tove lifted the trophy in front of jubilant crowd, yet at the Soccer City, symbolizing the nation's era. So they reinstated South Africa back to the AFCON, yes, at 1996, and they eventually won it. In 2002, Cameroon, yes, Cameroon penalty masterclass. Yes, it was host Ghana and Nigeria. First time AFCON was held twice. Now, first time AFCON had two co-hosts. I beg your pardon. So it was Ghana and Nigeria during the 2000. The final between Cameroon and Nigeria ended 2-2, forcing penalties. Cameroon won 4-3 in the shootout, led by Captain Rigobert Song and the brilliant Patrick Mboma right there. 2002, yes, Indomitable Lions go back-to-back. It was hosted by Mali, and it was Cameroon who won it. Cameroon repeated their success, as this time beating Senegal on penalties 3-2 after a goalless final. Samuel Eto'o began his emergence as Africa's next great superstar. 2004, we saw Tunisia, Red Wave. It was hosted by Tunisia. They won their first ever AFCON, defeating Morocco in a 2-1 in the North African Derby. It was Captain Khalid Badra and striker Frank Ludo Santos were the national heroes. And in what's with me with the 1990? It seems like I love the ancient time. But right now we are in the 2006 edition of the AFCON. It was hosted by Egypt, and the Pharaohs, led by Ahmed Hassan, beat Ivory Coast in another penalty shootout 4-2 after a draw, a 0-0 draw. This was the start of Egypt's modern dynasty. And 2008, we saw Egypt do it again. It was hosted by Ghana. They stomped many by defending their title, beating Cameroon 1-0 in the final. Mohamed Abdul Trika won the goal that sealed the sixth AFCON crown, yes, for Egypt right there. All right, 2008, it was Ghana who hosted, and Egypt did it again. They stunned many. Yes, I just mentioned it. Egypt actually won at the 2008. Right now, we are gradually getting to the 2010 editions. We'll talk about the most recent ones that we've seen. 2010 was hosted by Angola, and it was Egypt again who won it. Yes, they won it 3 times, back to back. Yes, so they secured their third consecutive AFCON title, 2006, 2008, 2010, Egypt again. We're just winning it back to back. And in 2012, yes, it was co-hosted by Gabon and Equatorial Guinea, and it was Zambia. Yeah, they were considered underdogs. They reached the final against Ivory Coast right there. And yes, Zambia won on the penalties right there. Let's move to 2013. Yeah, it was hosted in South Africa. And guess who won it? Nigeria, the Super Eagles. They claimed their third AFCON title, beating Burkina Faso and 1-0 in the final. The winning goal came from Sunday Umba, a moment edged in Nigerian football history right there. In 2015, we saw Ivory Coast break the course. Yes, it was hosted in Equatorial Guinea, and Ivory Coast, after years of near misses, finally lifted the trophy by defeating Ghana 9-8 on penalties. Didier Drogba, Gavinho played pivotal roles, bringing global stars power to the African stage. This was Ivory Coast's second AFCON title, and it broke a long spell of disappointment for nation's golden generation. By 2017, we saw Gabon host it, and it was Cameroon, the indomitable Lions. They returned to AFCON glory after 14 years by defeating Egypt 2-1 in the finals. Key figures, yes, it was Benjamin, the scorer, Vincent Abubakar. Yes, the playmaker of the game. It was the one that did justice. I mean, one of the players that did well when Cameroon won it in 2017. 2019, it was hosted in Egypt. We're gradually getting to the most recent ones. Yeah, it was hosted in Egypt, but it was Algeria who won it right there. They crushed Senegal 1-0 in the final, thanks to Bonger. Yeah, early goal. And yes, Algeria showed modern African football, blending defensive solidity with attacking flair, signaling a new generation of continental power.
Lifted into Shevchenko. He's onside this time. He's got Crespo in support. Here's Hernan Crespo, 2-0. Hernan Crespo. Look at that from Kaká. And what a pass too for Crespo.
Fatigué for joy, nous on est là.
Qui s'abalait, coup du matos.
Et puis Fan André.
Descends, coup du matos. Descends, coup du marais. Coup du matos, coup du matos.
Papillon.
All right, that was supposed to be the 2023 African Cup of Nations, although it was held in the early 2024. And yes, it was hosted by Ivory Coast. And yes, it was from 3rd of January to 11th February right there. And, you know, we saw 24 national teams competing. And yes, it was just a fun moment. It was a Nigerian who eventually won the best player of the tournament. It was really, beg your pardon, Africa's top teams were eliminated in the round of 16 by South Africa. And remember, it was Nigeria that knocked out South Africa. All right. I mean, I've given you the moment of how AFCON started, how we all began from Sudan, how we saw Egypt, and all of these teams, how they came together to form the AFCON. Yes, I mean, you can see that the story of the AFCON with even South Africa, when they had issues of apartheid and they were knocked out of the AFCON, it was just a fun moment. And we've seen that the AFCON actually unites people. For me, I love the AFCON so much. Later this year, we're going to be seeing another AFCON, and I'm certain that, hopefully, as a Nigerian, maybe we're going to see Nigeria win it. Although we're talking about qualification right now, the chances are slim. But let's just see what pans out in the African Cup of Nations. It's always held every 2 years, but the last edition wasn't held at the stipulated time. Yeah, due to climate issues and all of it. But it was a fun one, and hopefully we get to see more of the AFCON tournaments held very, very well, and people enjoy moments like that. And yeah, last AFCON, we also saw a lot of people watch the AFCON, about 2 billion, yes, 2 billion people. And it was fun for people that saw the AFCON with all of the moments from Cote d'Ivoire, how they were dancing, and the songs. Everyone enjoyed it. And trust Nigerians, yes, anytime we get so far in a tournament, we bring life, the moments, everything fun, you understand? And we also saw the banter with Ghana. The AFCON is always a very nice tournament, guys. Yes. for me, I would always advocate for the AFCON. I mean, I would love to even have the AFCON every year, but yeah, it's not possible every 2 years, which is very, very decent. But the AFCON from the start to right now, it has always been a top game. Kudos to the organizers. Then, how they started, how they put together the AFCON from Sudan. Right now, we saw it at Ivory Coast. And yes, the story of the AFCON continues. All right, it's time for the quiz segment. Yes, I'm going to open the phone lines. I'm going to ask you questions as regards some of these talk. Yes, what I've said about the AFCON. Yes, all right. So the studio lines is 07025201107, 07025201107, 07025201107, 07025201107. You can as well call 07055071107, 07055071107. Yes, call in. So I'm going to ask you questions. If you get it, there's something definitely awaiting you right there. We're going to be talking about the AFCON, what I just talked about. I mean, it's just going to be bonus questions. Just call in, and you're going to win something amazing. Once again, the studio line is 07025201107, 07025201107. You can as well call 07055071107. Don't forget, we are currently live on Facebook and Melody 100.7 FM. Go on there, drop your comments. I would take them. Yes, on the program today. Just go there, drop your comments. All right, I lost our call. All right, someone is knocking on the door. Yes. Hello. Good afternoon.
Babatunde calling from Baggy.
Baggy. Okay, Babatunde calling from Baggy.
Yeah.
Yeah. How are you doing?
I'm fine.
Yeah. Did you enjoy the AFCON story?
Well, I enjoy it. I joined you at the middle.
Okay. All right, let's go to the quiz segment. Let me ask you a question.
Okay.
All right. The question is, which country won the very first AFCON title?
First?
Country. Who won the very first AFCON title? The country that won the very first AFCON title. Which country?
I think it's Egypt.
Egypt, yeah, you're correct. All right. Let me get your number and yes, okay. I've gotten it. All right. You will get something after the show.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good afternoon. Yeah. How are you doing?
Good afternoon. I'm Abiyoji Oluwasola from Ishebo.
From Ishebo. All right. Did you listen to the stories of the AFCON?
Yes.
Yeah, and that was it.
Yes. Cool, fine.
Yeah. All right. Let's go straight, to the question for you today. All right. Okay. So let's talk about. Okay, I'm going to ask you this question. In what year did the AFCON expand to 24 teams?
In what year did the
AFCON expand?
AFCON?
Yes, expand to 24 teams. 24 teams.
24
teams.
24 teams.
Yeah. All right, you can do well to call us back. right, we're still on the quiz segment. You can call 07025201107. 07025201107. You can as well call 07055071107. 07055071107. Yes, those are the studio lines if you want to reach us right here. All right, call in and win amazing prizes. I mean, we've got one winner on the show, and after the show, I'm going to do justice. Yes, sir. So that man right there. All right, we've got a caller.
Hello?
Yeah. Hello, good afternoon.
This is Ishola from Alakia.
Ishola from Alakia. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's head straight to the quiz segment.
Okay.
All right, so who is AFCON's all-time top scorer?
First time.
Who is AFCON? AFCON all-time top scorer. AFCON all-time top scorer.
You mean all time or first time?
No, all time. All together.
All time.
Top scorer.
I think it's...
Try.
Damaja.
No, you missed that. The all-time scorer is Samuel Eto'o of Cameroon. You can do well to call us back here. Zero 07025201107. 07025201107. You can as well call 07055071107. You can reach us any of these lines. We're going to pick it. One winner so far. I mean, I've got lots of amazing prizes. I didn't just want one winner. Just call in, be a part of the program, and guess what? You're gonna win something nice if you win the questions that I'm gonna read out to you right there. Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, what's your name and where you
calling back.
Okay, calling back. All right, you want to go again?
I want to try again.
All right, let me give you this one. I mean, it's not too hard. All right, how often is the African Cup of Nations held? It's quite easy, very easy. How often is the AFCON held?
I know it's every 2 years.
Every 2 years. All right, you're correct. All right, after the show, you're going to get something afterwards.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, how are you? What's your name and where are you calling from?
Eniola from Oduono.
Eniola from Oduono. Yeah?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Did you listen to the story?
No.
Okay, but you want to try?
Yes.
All right. Okay, so I'm going to ask you a question that I already asked somebody, but I didn't give an answer to it. All right, in what year did the AFCON expand to 24 teams?
Huh?
In what year was the AFCON expanded to 24 teams? All right, it was 2019. The AFCON was expanded to 24 teams in 2019. So that question is off. Hello. Hello. Good afternoon. What did you say? Your name?
Moses from Akobo.
From Akobo. Police. Moses from Akobo. All right. Did you listen to the story?
Yeah, I had the story.
Okay. All right. Let's go straight to the question. Are you there?
Yeah, okay.
Okay. All right. Which country won the 2019 AFCON?
2019 AFCON.
Yes.
That should be Cote d'Ivoire.
Now you're wrong. It was Algeria.
Okay, yeah.
Good afternoon. What's your name and where are you calling from? I can't hear you. Mohammed. Ojo Emmanuel. Yeah, from where? Monia. Although I'm struggling. Bode. I'm struggling to hear you. Can you call us back, please? Owode Apata. Okay, I can hear you. I can hear you clearly. All right. Did you listen to the story? All right, but you want to try? Hello. Okay. All right. How many teams participated in the inaugural AFCON? How many teams? How many teams participated in the AFCON inaugural? In the very first AFCON, how many teams participated? Yeah? I can't hear you. No, it's not 16. It's not 16. All right, you can call 070-2520-107, 070-2520-107. And you can also call 070-5507-107. Hello.
Hello, this is Shola Daniel.
Shola Daniel, from where?
Tebo.
Tebo. All right. Yeah. Did you listen to the story?
A little bit.
A little bit. All right. So let's go straight to the quiz segment. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. All right. Which West African country won the first ever AFCON in 2013?
You said?
Which West African country won the first ever AFCON in 2013?
In 2013,
Yeah.
Nigeria.
All right, you're correct. All right, after the show, you get something. Thank you for calling.
Okay, you picked my number?
Yes, I picked it already.
All right, thanks.
Yeah.
Bye.
All right, it's time to go. I mean, a lot of winners today, about 4, a lot of callers. And to everyone that tried calling, yes, you can always keep trying. Just always join us. 12 to 1, Sport Echoes, Melody 100.7 FM. Every Saturday. It's going to be fun, entertaining. I mean, look at the stories, how we all started. Many people must have forgotten. I mean, bring it back, the late Christian Chuku, and also Rashidi Yakini's moments. I mean, that's what we do on Sport Echoes. Yes, and I'm going to be signing out very, very soon. Daniel has started waving of the flag. Yeah, big thanks to Daniel Adeyemi, the studio manager for today, Oyewole Adetoro, also at the engineering department. And Pretty the Finest, Adegoke, the producer of this show. He came to see me to do justice to all of this is happening right here in the studio. He's just giving me his support right there. And also, yes, the general manager of this station, Eniola Afolabi, the sports marshal. Big ups to you, sir. Yes, until later this afternoon, because there's complete sports, 3 to 5, where we give you comprehensive sports analysis. Daniel will be here, the sports here. Pretty the Finest Adegoke is going to be here to do justice to all of that. So until later this afternoon, when I come your way again, I'm Akinbobola Egunfemi. Good afternoon.